Star defensive end Abdul Carter opting out of participating in Penn State's pro day as he continues to rehab a shoulder injury. Carter still expected to be a high draft pick. Last night, he had dinner with officials from the Browns who hold the number 2 pick, and they could use a quarterback. Louis Riddick, there he is. How we doing, big time? Good to see you. Let's dive right in. Louis. Oh, what?
Mr. Chippendales, I have a question for you. Do you see me? Can you see me from where you at?
Yeah, we see you.
Yeah, brother, I see you. Of course I see you.
Do you approve? I mean, I tried to do the Chippendales.
Yeah. You know what?
I tried.
That's that South Florida living right there. That's what that is.
Yeah. Like
I know what you're doing.
I was just asking Molly. Molly, I tried to buy. I knew Louis was going to be on the show today, and it's a Friday, so I figured, I do my own Chippendales version. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just thought.
It looks good, man.
It looks like
good. It works for you.
You know what it feels like? It feels like Friday. Everybody's ready to let their hair down. It's a good vibe, so I'm with it. Now let's carry on. We're all business. Louis, it's literally my job to get to the you-know-what debate. Louis, what should the Browns do at number 2? Can I live?
Man.
Like, seriously.
You know what?
I mean, like, seriously. Just everyone.
Yeah, I know.
Let's
Just let her be, Stephen A. Just let her be.
Okay?
I know.
All right.
I know it has.
I don't have to talk about certain subjects. I'm cool.
I've been keeping track. I know what's going on. I know what's been going on First Take. It's all right. I got my boy Stephen A. though. But hey, look, this is what it's been like. For Cleveland. Look, I think right here, look, with them not going with Russell Wilson, obviously in the free agent market, and them deciding to kind of move on from him and kind of see what else comes down the pike here as far as the veteran acquisition market, as far as addressing the quarterback position. I think they're in a position now where they have to take best player available when they're sitting here drafting at 2. And I think at quarterback right now, there just seems to be a lot of trepidation amongst these teams outside of Tennessee. Teams like the Giants, teams like the Browns when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. I exactly don't know why, but there seems to be some trepidation with that. And when you talk about a guy then like Abdul Carter, there isn't any trepidation at all because what he is really a franchise-changing type of player, a guy who can really transform your defense and cause it to level up in a way that you really expect out of the number 2 overall pick in the draft. And look, when you compare him with a guy like Myles Garrett, on that defense, headed by Jim Schwartz, in a division that has nothing but superstar quarterbacks when you're talking about Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson, and you're trying to dethrone teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, with Patrick Mahomes, you need as many pass rushers as you possibly can get in order to hunt those guys down. And you have to come up with another solution when you're talking about your quarterback position. And I think there are other solutions, namely in the bottom of the draft in the first round with guys like Tyler Shuck. So I think you can kill 2 birds with one stone, take one of the best players, most impactful players in this draft in a guy in the pass rusher, and you can really help your football team here in 2025 and beyond.
Here's my thinking, Louis. Educate me on it. Help me out here. So I know that Cleveland was the worst offense in football. They were the 27th ranked defense. But notice the past, they were 21st against the run. And when you look on the personnel on the Cleveland Browns, led by Myles Garrett, of course, the one thing that we have never said, we have not come into any week in saying that the defense is the weak link of the Cleveland Browns. We have not done that. Yep. This team can play some defense. The issue was your offense was so porous that you gave opposing offenses too many bites at the apple. And obviously you can only do but so much if your offense can't produce anything and you're on the field all the damn time. So my attitude is that no matter how bad your defense may have looked statistically, it was primarily due to an offense that was so anemic, so pathetic that you didn't have it, but that the defense, you get also guys can get demoralized. We can bring that in too. Right. So I bring that up because here's what I want to say. You got to take a quarterback. If it can't, the only way you're justified in not taking a quarterback, if you are the Cleveland Browns, is if you don't believe that quarterback has the ability to be the face of your franchise. I'm not talking about an average quarterback. I'm not talking about taking a Daniel Jones with the 6th overall pick and working with them and hoping he becomes something. I'm talking about cats that you look at and you say, yo, these brothers can ball at the quarterback position. If you feel that way, You can't be worried about attitude, which were lies about Shedeur Sanders, by the way, as you have articulated better than anybody. It can't be about your concerns that Deion Sanders is going to be in his ear, and you know that brother has forgotten more football than most people know. It can't be those concerns. Not when you have a quarterback. And by the way, if you're Haslam and you're listening, if you're Berry and you're listening, you know what? That's a good way to make up for the $230 million a deal that you made for Deshaun Watson that looks like one of the most awful contract agreements in NFL history because of how he has performed since he's been in the Cleveland Browns uniform. It might offset that if you find another quarterback who can get it done for you.
Yeah. Look, I'm not here to argue down Shedeur, okay?
I know.
Firmly in his camp as someone who believes that not only does he have the mental makeup and the personal makeup and the physical skills to be worthy of being a top 3 pick, I'm someone who thinks that the Cleveland Browns should seriously consider taking him at that spot. But see, it's all about conviction when you're talking about that number 2 overall pick, because there would be nothing worse than to have a building, and I'm not speaking for the Browns, I'm just saying hypothetically, only because I've been in these kind of situations. If the building is split somehow, some way, as far as whether or not Shedeur Sanders really does represent number 2 overall pick value, then it's not going to do the young man any favors once he gets into the building if everyone isn't kind of all rowing in the same direction and they're not all behind him. You can't force the pick no matter how bad the need is. That's what you can't do. Now, if they are, look, if Andrew Berry really does believe that he gives them a long-term option at the quarterback position and causes them to level up in a division and in a conference where they need to level up at the quarterback position, then take him. And I say the same thing about the Giants. Then take him. But the words surrounding the talk coming out of Cleveland sounds like they are not, if it's not Cam Ward, if they can't get up to number 1 and strike a deal with Tennessee, then it's just not, then Shedeur is just not going to be that number 2 or number 3 pick for whatever reasons that these 2 franchises that come up with, that being Cleveland and the New York Giants. And look, and if that's the case, then go ahead and take best player available. Take a transformational player like Abdul Carter. Pair him with Myles Garrett. Make that defense absolutely hellacious. And see if, like I said, see if you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone and get great value in a player like Tyler Shuck. Look, I don't believe Jackson Dart should be in the equation here, in the top 10. And I've heard people throw his name around as a potential top 10 pick. I don't believe he deserves to be in this conversation. But, look, if you don't have conviction with Shedeur, you're doing him a disservice. You just are, because players will feel that, and it will undermine everything that this young man deserves to have in terms of a real opportunity to become a franchise quarterback.
I just think that the ingredients, when you have a Lamar Jackson and a Joe Burrow in your stable, let's remind people for a second. Let's use the Pittsburgh Steelers as an example.
Stephen A., we got like 60 seconds.
Okay, you look at the Steelers for an example. Their defense has been lights out, especially with T.J. Watt. But where did it get them? Because they had no quarterback. You've got personnel on the defensive side of the ball in Cleveland. Where has it gotten you? Nowhere, because you don't have a quarterback. You got a guy like Shedeur Sanders. His pedigree, his poise, his level of production, and you know he's a winner, you go for it.
I know there's more meat on the bone, guys, but you played ball control. I mean, your girl was trying to get in, so we got to leave it there. More meat on.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn tốt tư âm, và từ hôm nay của mình sẽ là con bò. Mọi người hôm nay tự của mình là con trâu. Con bò là người nhưng mà thôi kệ nhá mọi người. Từ màu xanh nhá. Anh lấy cho mình cái vỏ ốc, nó lấy cái vỏ ốc cho ai hay là lấy cho cái cây xả, có lấy không? Chưa kịp trả lời. Hỏi nhưng mà hỏi cho có. Mình lấy màu xanh nhá. Tiếp đi, thế là màu cam. Hôm nay anh Quy đem nghỉ à?
Mai chủ nhật em.
Ngày hôm chủ nhật vẫn đi đấy.